Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have about 1 hour together. My name is Wendy, and today I'll be your host. There will be a live demo, and Via will handle the actual screen work. If you have any questions, just type in the chat, and I already see many questions, right? First, to get to know you better, I want to ask you a simple questions. Is anyone here already using CoWork or similar tools to organize or automate your tasks? You guys just feel free to type your answer in the chat. You're not? Actually, yes, I see your question, Emily. Yes, CoWork is super easy to use, especially for non-coders, for non-technical users like you and me. I'm also not a developer right now. All right, so we'll get started right now. First, you wonder that why we host this workshop about Claude CoWork, because in our previous workshop, we set up a full open cloud agent together. We did the live demo and walk you through the whole thing. It was impressive. So if you were there, you saw what it could do. And if you want to watch it again, you can visit our production page right there, and you see all the workshop, all the updates, and all the tutorials will be uploaded right there. So make sure to upvote and then follow us on Product so that you can get the latest news. And also after that session, a lot of you reached out to me inside a private community, and the messages were all saying the same thing, like, oh, that was cool. Like here, that was cool, but I couldn't get it running on my own. The setup was too complicated, or I'm not sure how to use it, how can I trust it with my files, or is this actually safe to use? And honestly, I agree with every single one of you. OpenCloud is powerful, truly powerful, but it requires significant technical setup to use safely. And there have been even documented concerns around prompt injection and data access. And if something goes wrong, you just can't handle it. So when Anthropic released CoWork, I paid attention immediately because CoWork is like the answer, the direct answer to everything that makes OpenCloud hard. And Anthropic built CoWork with a fundamentally different security model. For knowledge workers like you and me, like I said before, who are not a developer, CoWork is the more practical, safer, and more useful tool. First, I want to clarify three products of Anthropic for you guys because we can get confused by we play around the Claude dashboard. Here you can see three products on the screen. First, we have Claude Chat right there. You can see when I open Claude app, my desktop app, you can see like three tabs on the top. The first one is a chat. This is the most popular setup. This is the most like the popular product that all of you guys are hearing right now. Claude Chat is like for everyone. It's a simple, accessible tool for chatting and drafting. And chat works across your web browser, your mobile app, and your desktop app. But only lets you upload like files manually for Claude to read. For example, I just ask it about my site, afire.co. I want it to tell me all the benefits that my site brings to people, to you guys. And then it fetch all of the information about my site and give me a breakdown of the key benefits that AFI brings to its readers. First is stay current with AI news, practical actionable guides, and all the benefits, all the other things. So that is the chat. You can also use it through web browser. And the second thing is the Claude Code. This is the most difficult, the most complicated one is for developers. It's built to write and run code. And yeah, you can face some problems with your API, like you said in the chat. It's built to run and write code, yeah, and handle complex coding tasks. Cloud Code works in terminal or IDE environments and can access and modify your full code base. It's powerful, just like OpenClaw, but it's more easy to use than OpenClaw. But yeah, you need to be familiar with the terminal, so I can say that it's not for everyone. And that's why today's workshop is about Claude CoWork, the second tab right there. Claude CoWork is for knowledge workers like us. It's designed to handle multi-step file and app tasks, and it integrates with your local files in your laptop or your device. And it integrates directly into your workspace for productivity. It runs only on a desktop app, and that's why you need to download it on claude.com/download, like I remember. And when you open it, you need to give it the direct access to your local folders inside a sandbox VM. It can read, create, and write files inside that folder. You don't need to upload or copy paste anything. Yeah, so you need to get Claude CoWork features while you are on a paid plan. Any paid plan is okay. So now let's getting started. First, if you haven't downloaded the desktop app yet, just go to claude.com/download and then grab the app for your Windows or your Mac, either one. And then sign in with your account, Claude account. Make sure to use a paid account. And you see a model selector at the top on the CoWork tab. And when you open CoWork, here you will see a few tabs on the right side. The first thing you see will be the new task button. This is how every session starts. You can click it, describe what you want, and let Claude go. The fundamental rule of CoWork is like this. You describe an outcome, and then the Claude will build a plan and breaks it into subtasks, runs them, and delivers finished work for you. So you can watch it work in real time. You can jump in to give feedbacks, or just close the app and come back to the completed results saved to your folder. For example, I just ask it to Okay, I just ask it. I have a simple request right there. I have a folder. Yeah, I have a folder right now. This folder contains like 20 AI guides. These cover a wide range of tools in the market because basically I got it from the AFI website. AFI provides like detailed guides for almost every new AI tool out there and how to master each one. So I ask, and you can see is kind of chaotic, right? I can just find a specific tool right there. I just can't navigate the right one because there are too many guys. And so I asked CoWork, okay, let me do it for you one more time. Click on new task, choose a folder. For example, I choose this folder, allow it, and then I ask it to organize my folder containing 20 AI tutorials based on the tools topic they cover, and then sort them by the name of the AI tool and create categories for each one. Then just click let go. While the task is running, you see a progress indicator on the right side. It doesn't immediately start moving your files, but it generates a plan first. And then that plans appear in the sidebar over here. And this becomes like your safety net. You can monitor it, you can watch it, you can make adjustment mid-task, like just type something right there. Like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot. I need to add some more file. But right now, that's not what I want, so I just let it go. Okay, this is the first command. And then you can just close the app if you want and simply come back later to check on the results. Okay, let's see what I do inside my folder. Usually it will take around 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, you can see the progress bar right there. It just analyze all tiny files and define category folders. Yeah, it create my category folders inside the workspace. Mm, you can see it, right? It's creating new folder. Yeah, and it's done. So the task is done right now. You can see that the result CoWork organized them for easy access to me. Each folder here has a name according to the tools like NNN, AI agents, AI video tools, ChatGPT, Google tools like Gemini, OpenClaw, open source, and mobile AI. So now you can imagine like running this weekly, so your folder always stays organized automatically. Your workspace stay clean and orderly. That is a task. So the second thing you see here is the schedule task. This is your list of automatic recurring tasks that Claude can automate for you on a daily, weekly, or even a custom interval basis. To create one scheduled task, you can click on New Task, give it a name, give it a description, and a prompt. This prompt is like your instruction to CoWork. I just create one right there. I name it AI Daily Newsletter. I wanted to check the AI newsletter in my inbox, my Gmail every day, and then summarize the key points for me. In the prompt part, I just wanted to use some of my favorite parts because AI provides like so many things inside one email. I just like want to get the latest news from big giants like Anthropic, OpenAI, or NVIDIA. And that's it. You can click on save and then it will run every day at around 9 a.m. That is a scheduled task. So one important note right there is that scheduled task only run while your computer is awake right there. You can need to keep it awake. So if the app is closed when the task is running, it will close that task and it runs automatically the next time you reopen the app. Next is the projects. This is similar to projects in ChatGPT. Before projects, every co-work session, like every task right there, it works independently. It doesn't share the same context. You ask Claude to help you with legal work or a financial analysis, and then Claude might query over assumptions from one to the other. And projects fix that. Each project you create right there will have its own isolated workspace with its own instructions, scheduled tasks, memory, and folder access. You can run multiple projects at the same time. Also, there are two main places where Claude stores your memory, and you get the best results if you use both. First one is the memory inside your project, and the second one is what we call the global instruction. You can click on setting, choose CoWork, and you see it, the global instructions. This is where you put things like your general preferences, where you live, your main business goal. But you can just come right there to the chat tab and then ask it to create your global instruction for you because it may know you better than you are. So I ask it to write a global instructions for my Claude CoWork account based on AFI website and what you know about me. Because I've been working for Claude with Claude for about 2 years. So I think it knows me like much better. So it write a global instruction for me. I can just copy it, copy the global instruction, come back to setting, CoWork, and paste it, click on save. That's it. Next part inside CoWork dashboard is the dispatch. This is one of the latest features. It creates one persistent conversation between your mobile app and your desktop. So for example, when you're on a holiday, you can type a task in your mobile phone, and then your desktop runs that task for you. You can message Claude from your phone like anywhere. It works on your computer, and you come back to finish work. But it's still an early research preview, so it's like roughly 50-50 on complex tasks. So next is the ideas section. This is just a simple way of cowork to suggest some tasks you might encounter when getting started. Actually, this section is not so important for me, and I think for everyone. It's there just to give you an idea of what to expect, but you don't need to worry that much about this right now. What you have to pay attention the most is the customized part right there. It contains three things. Three things. The first one is the skills part. It's like the reusable workflows, not just one-off prompts. For example, a regular prompt might say like, analyze this email campaign, but a skill, it will turn that into a multi-step system that automatically handles data extraction, scoring, recommendations, and report generation. So we have three ways to create a skill. The first one, you can use community created skills available in the marketplace like Skill Hub. This is my favorite place to get some new skill right there. So here we have like thousands or even, yeah, I think thousands of skills is available in this website. For example, I want to install this one by search. I can export this, come back to CoWork, and then click on upload a skill. You can see my screen, right? Upload a skill and then input that. So yeah, it's right there. The first search. It has like a skill.md file. It has the instruction, the description, like everything that a basic skill will have. And then we'll have the second way. Like if you find yourself repeating the same task like research, summarization, building websites, building slides, or formatting, just turn it into a reusable system. You can come back to your task like this and use Skill Creator, turn this flow into my skill. That is the second way. And lastly, this is also one of my favorite ways to build my skills. Whenever I finish a full task like this, like I go through 10 prompts. CoWork gets a clear understanding of what I need. At that point, I simply command it to turn the flow into a skill, and it creates that skill for me instantly. Or you can also use some skill inside the some pre-made skills that Claude CoWork provides you. Here, just click on plus button and it will install immediately. That's it. Easy to use, right? And the second part inside customize section is the connectors. This is quite simple. You see some built-in connectors such as Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drives like Zapier, and so many things. So these are like native integrations. When you click on Gmail, for example, you go through like a standard Google authorization flow, and you just sign in, approve access, and that's it. So once connected, CoWork can reach your emails or draft replies for you. It does not automatically send messages unless you approve them, so don't be worried. All right, and one thing I want you to keep in mind inside connectors part is that if you connect too much, you increase your risk. And if you connect too little, you just limit what CoWork can do, so only connect what you actually need. So now we've seen native integrations. We'll dive deeper into expanded connectivity. And here we have a term, MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, like this. Right there. So MCP, you can think of it as a bridge that lets CoWork connect to tools that don't have built-in integrations because not all platforms offer official connectors to CoWork. But with MCP, you're not limited to just Gmail or Google Drive. You can connect your CRMs, your custom dashboards, or internal tools as long as there's an MCP server for them. You can find MCP connectors by searching the tool's name followed by MCP server. Many developers and communities host these servers publicly. All right, so now we'll come back to CoWork. The last thing you see in customize section is the plugins. This is like role-specific bundles. It's like preview package that combine your connectors, your skills, and sub agents into a single tool for specific work like marketing analysis, financial modeling, or custom support workflows. When you open the plugin manager, you see official Anthropic plugins that you can install with just one click. For example, I want to browse plugins. Here, this is our official Anthropic plugins. You can click on plus button and then install some plugins to use. So there's no coding required and activation takes only a few seconds. So when you install them, you can trigger them directly. For example, you can type use a marketing plugin to audit this campaign, and the plugin will start a structured workflow and generate organized output for you. But if you feel too confused about all the plugins available right there, you can go to this guide. I recommend using this guide. This is the Claude CoWork ranking that Neil found. This is one of my researcher, one of AI researcher. He made this guide really useful. It ranked 21 viral plugins from S tier to C tier. Like, what is the best Claude CoWork plugin to install first? What is not so useful one? You can use this guide to navigate and to use like your preference. I will paste it for you. All right. So I want to be direct with you about the current limitations because because understanding them helps you use CoWork effectively. Some limitation because no tools in the market is perfect. Even AI5 has some faults. Here you see like four biggest limitations. The first one is CoWork has no memory between sections by default. Each task starts from scratch, but you can manage it with projects or global instructions, like I said. The second thing is it's just like desktop only. Right now, CoWork is only available on desktop app, so you can control it from your phone using Dispatch, but it's quite risky for now. And the tasks themselves still run on your desktop if you use Dispatch, and then your app must stay open. If you close Claude Desktop, tasks will stop, and your scheduled tasks will run until you reopen the app. And then CoWork doesn't capture activity in audit logs, compliance APIs, or data exports, so it's not suitable for sensitive data yet. And for now, yeah, that's all. So you have a full picture of what CoWork is, where it came from, and what every feature does. And now it's time, I think it's time to see it actually work in reality. I'm gonna hand it over to Mia, who's gonna walk you through a live demo. So over to you, Mia.
Thank you, Wendy. Before we jump into the technical setup, let me explain why this workflow is actually powerful. My workflow today is we're gonna build a morning brief workflow, and this is basically the automation that turns Claude into your personal morning assistant, which is in about 15 minutes every morning. Claude is going to scan your email, pull in your calendar, check what's trending in AI and crypto, or whatsoever news that you want to hear, and then hand you back a beautifully organized dashboard that tells you exactly what you need to focus on today. So you no need to scrolling through 5 different tabs, or you no longer have to wonder which emails are actually important. You just have the one dashboard automated from Claude. And once you build this, you have never to think about it again. It becomes part of your routine. So before we jump into the technical, I want to, have the real mindset about the word automation here. Actually, a lot of people imagine like fully automated workflows that just run and run without any human input. But if you think about it, your morning brief actually needs some human intelligence here. You might get an email from a partner that's technically not urgent by subject line, but it's actually critical because you know that person, or you might see a market trend that's relevant to your specific business in a way that a generic automation tool would understand. So in this case, we are not trying to replace your thinking. We're trying to give Claude enough context about your business, your prioritize or your goals, and that when it scans your inbox or your calendar, it already knows what matters to you. So it's just like having someone who understands your business, read through everything first, and hand you only the important stuff. So the first step is we kind of make Claude has the real data, right? You can have a useful morning brief if Claude is just making things up. So we need to block it into your actual email, your actual calendar, or your actual communication tools here. So we gonna go to customize, um, go into connectors, and we're gonna connect Gmail, Google Calendar, and in this case, I'm gonna use Notion so that Claude can put the output in here. I already have the demo here, and we're gonna go again through the step by steps. Okay, the Google Calendar is how Claude is going to know what meetings you have today. So what workshops you have scheduled and when you actually have free time to do the deep work. And for the Gmail here, this is critical because it's where Claude is going to scan for important messages. But here is the important thing that I want you to focus on is Gmail connector is going to read all your emails here, for example. And so you want to make sure that you are comfortable with that. The good news is Claude only sees what you're asking it to look for. It's not reading every email in some creepy way because you are in total control. So here's is the list of my email. And I already connected to Gmail here in Claude CoWork. And the third is Notion. So this will help Claude understand that it needs to input all of the morning brief information about the Gmail, about the schedule calendar into the Notion so that I can like, for example, every morning I will wake up and then I open this tab, I check and it already have the perfect file for me. So before we move to the next step, I want to introduce you something that probably the most important. It is sandboxing. So you can think the sandboxing is like imagine you giving Claude a set of keys to your house. So you don't give it keys to, for example, every room. You give the keys to the specific rooms that are relevant to the task. So if something goes wrong, it can only affect those specific rooms. And in CoWork, sandboxing happens in the 3 level here. And I want to explain each one because if you understand this, it is going to help you feel confident when you are automating things. So the first level is the virtual machine. So when you run Claude CoWork, your computer creates a separate protect environment. So this is why you have to enable the virtualization when you download the Claude app in the desktop, and then you click CoWork. It will ask you like to enable the virtual machine in your desktop. This is why you have to enable it in your BOIs, and why you need at least 16 gigabyte of RAM to run smoothly. And all of the Claude's actions happens inside this isolated environment. If Claude makes a mistake, and it might happen, it affects the sandbox. So it's not your actual Windows system. So your core operating system stays safe. And the second level here is the folder level. This is the part that you directly control. When you set up CoWork to work on something, you choose one specific folder path. Claude can see and modify things in that folder. So for example, I only create the folder CloudWork in here. And then inside the Claude CoWork, I will insert the information about me and all of the skills or the projects that I want Claude to access to. So it can only access to this. When you are setting up this morning brief, we are going to create a dedicated folder called the morning brief here. And you can point the Claude only at that folder, and everything stays organized and protected. And the third level is the command approval. Before Claude executes any command that could be system changing, like installing a new library or deleting files in bulk or connecting to any platforms, it's going to ask you for the permission. So you'll see a dialog say allow or deny. So this is your last checkpoint. Um, so here's what I do right now. I will create it here. These are all the skills that I already built for myself. Earlier, Wendy has already guided you about how to build your own skills, so I'm not gonna talk about it again. And this one file about me is to for Claude to understand that what my personalities are, or what I am interested in, or what type of writing tone that I like to convey, etc. So it's all about like the information about me for Claude to understand. You actually can create your own about me actually. You can write out your voice, your tone, and if you are building the content for your company, you might write something like, um, I want my writing style to be confident or to be in the direct language. It depends on your preferences. So Claude will read this and match the tone, and you can also input your keyword in there. So for example, in this workflow, I will input like prioritize the emails containing workshop or ads or sponsor, partner, meta, all of the keywords included in the Gmail. And these are always urgent. So this is basically you training Claude on what matters to you without having to say it every single time. And then you just add your business context, your ideal customer profile, your revenue model, your goals for the month, basically everything that Claude should know when it's making decisions about what's important versus what is not. So you only have to write this once, then every single time you just put it, and click on new task, and then I will ask it to go into the Claude CoWork, accept this file, and then you can give it permission. Yeah, so every time you just put it in here, and Claude will start working in this folder, and it reads the file first, and it's like you're in the room with it from the beginning of every section. You can create your own about me and spend maybe like 10 minutes on it. It's generally one of the highest leverage things that you can do. Now you have the foundation set up. The connectors are connected. Your sandbox folders exist. Your skills file is written all in here. I already input my skills over here. I'm gonna use this prompt. This is the meta prompt to run the morning brief workflow. And I'm gonna send you later after the workshop. So we just input. I'm gonna use Sonnet 4.6 as a default, and we just click. So Claude will run in the workflow, as you can see in the right hand here. It is the progress. And you just wait a couple of minutes for it to run the automation. So as you can see in here, that it write the user want me to access their executive shift to run the 3 skills: inbox sweep, meeting prep, and the quick research. So I'm gonna say briefly about these 3 skills. So the inbox sweep is the future for urgent emails from the last 24 hours. So I'm gonna ask it to prioritize like anything related to my company or the sponsors or the ads from Meta. And for the meeting prep skill, it summarizes all the events on my Google Calendar for today, include the meeting objective and any key data points that I need. And for the quick research here, it fetch the top 3 or 5 AI news story from the last 24 hours. So you can see the progress in here. It will done step by steps until it is already finished. As I already connect my Notion to Claude, so I just paste my link directly to Claude here, and it's in my meta prompt, of course. And it creates the file. This is the file generated by Claude Executive Chief staff. The overview here, it has a quick summary. So it notes that today is, we have the live workshop at 11:30 a.m. is happening now. And I also have the request accept from the notebook LM and etc. And it also have the urgent actions that I need to do. The schedule for today, also my workshop, and basically there is no other events. And the newsletter feed. And for the Knowledge Hub, it also give me around 3 or 5 latest news for the last 24 hours. And I asked it to have the summarize here and indicate the source link and why it matters, all included in here. And you can also see what are the workflows that Claude is doing right now. The whole thing probably loads in about 2 minutes. For the visual you are seeing right now, it's actually, for me, it's not perfect yet. It's kind of like generic. If you want to be more customized only for you, like for your own taste, you can look at the urgent emails from the Gmail, and you can like have a double check is Claude getting those right, or if you see an email from someone random that Claude marked as urgent, or if you see an email from your main client that Claude meets. So you need to update your all of that information into the folder in here. You can create your own like markdown folder about me, or like the project in the markdown format. If you want to update anything, are the articles relevant to what you actually care about? So if Claude is showing you the blockchain news, but you don't care about the blockchain right now, then go back and say focus on AI research and large language model updates, not crypto or any other unrelated news. This is you training Claude on what matters. And this iterative improvement is actually really important. The first version is going to be maybe like 70% perfect for you, but after 3 or 4 mornings of changing and improving, it's going to be 95% perfect, and that's when it becomes generally useful. Okay, so here's something important that I know that Wendy mentioned earlier, but I want to emphasize it again in the context of this morning brief workflow. It is the token depth. It's like if you had to do a lot of lists into Claude, for example, in here, like there's a tons of workflow. You had a to-do list app that will read your entire history every time you added a new item. And after a week, it's reading through like thousands of lines every time you do everything. So here is how you avoid this. Every day when you run your morning brief, you can open a brand new task like here. Or basically you can do the schedule task where you can add a new task and name it like morning brief. You give it the description and you give the meta prompt as I mentioned earlier. So for the frequency, you can do like daily every 8 a.m. or you can do more option using this model. It is the cheapest model among those three. And select the folder about the morning brief. And it can run automatic for you without burning 1,000 tokens. This might sound like a small thing, but honestly, it's going to save you money and it's going to keep Claude running faster. I actually made a mistake about this and I learned from that. We just checked. Yeah, as you can see in here, Claude asked me if I can give it permission to access to Notion. This is why you need a scheduled task that you don't have to run again and again manually. It's going to feel tedious by day 3. So we need to automate it in the way that it works. And one more option that if you have a Mac Mini or another small computer that you can leave running 24 hours per day, you can set up Claude CoWork to run on that machine and schedule a task to execute at 8 a.m. every morning. The computer stays on, Claude runs the prompt, builds the dashboard, and by the time that you wake up and check your computer, it's already waiting for you there. And the option 2 is if you don't have a dedicated machine, you can set a reminder on your phone that says running morning brief at 7:45 a.m. or 8 a.m. because Claude now has the dispatch version here that you can run from your phone. I think it's already done. Let's check. Okay, so scene is I already created. So it's already like the news for today. And you can see here, the news here have the changing from the previous. So it optimized directly on this file because it is the file for today, the morning brief of April 2nd. It's quite automatic. The way I think about this, the dashboard is like your morning newspaper, except instead of being written for millions of people, it's written specifically for you and your business as well. All right, so you have been running this morning brief for maybe a week. You have changed your about me markdown files a few times, and Claude is now getting really good at identifying what's important to you. So this is when things get interesting. At this point, you might want to start expanding what this workflow does. So you can level up from this workflow. Like you can say, you can ask your Claude if the market research shows a specific trend that's related to your business, for example, automatically send me a Slack notification and you're getting the real-time alerts filter for your specific business. Or you can update in the Claude CoWork, like if there's an important email from a specific person and add it to my assigner as a task that I need to do today. And this is where the co-work becomes generally transformative because you are not just building the one automation, you are building a system where Claude is becoming your assistant who understands your business and proactively organizing your information across all your tools. I have to mention one more thing is the three critical reminders. First is you have to always back up your folders before you ask Claude to do the bulk operations. If you are going to say something like organize 500 files, you have to make a backup of that entire folder first, because maybe Claude is incredible, but it can misunderstand. Having a backup means you can recover in like 30 seconds instead of being in a panic mode. And the second reminder is if you notice that Claude CoWork is getting slow, just don't assume that your computer is slow as well. You can check two things. One is make sure your virtual machine platform is actually enabled in your Windows setting. And because we have seen people forget this and then the whole thing's just nap. And the second is check your RAM. CoWork needs at least around 16 gigabytes to run smoothly. So if just running on 8 gigabyte, you are going to have a bad time with your computer as well. And the last thing that I want you to note is don't give Claude more folder access than it needs. I know it's tempting to say that you can have your Claude access to your whole entire downloads folder, but stick to the sandbox principle, as I mentioned before. You can create a dedicated folder for this workflow and you can keep it contained. It's much safer, it's cleaner, and honestly, it makes Claude more focused and effective because it's not trying to navigate your entire file system. All right, so let me recap what we have just built. I think it's important to see the full picture here. So we started with understanding why this matter, a morning brief, giving the Claude enough context about your business that it can do intelligent filtering on your behalf. And then we set up the technical foundation, the connectors, the skills, and the file about your company, about your project, that Claude can understand your voice and your prioritize. And then we build the master prompt. Here, we told Claude to exactly what we wanted, a dashboard with from the summary, the email, the urgent email, the schedule calendar, and your news about AI for 24 hours. So we watched it work. We saw all of those things happen, all in Claude CoWork, and it's pretty amazing. Then we started thinking about, the long term. Like, how do we make this into your routine? How do we avoid the token debt? How we improve it day by day, step by step, and how do we eventually expand it to do even more? So, and finally, we talk about the guardrails, the backups, the virtual machine, the sandbox, and all those things that keep you safe in the control. This is the important for building any workflow in CoWork. It's not that complicated, but it requires thinking clearly about what you're trying to achieve and then being intentional about how you guide your Claude to achieve it. And honestly, once you have it, it's going to be make you wonder how you ever started your day without it. So let me know in your comments if you have any questions or if you end up building something cool with your own workflow. And that is all I want to say about my workflow, about building the morning brief for you, set up automatically every morning. Thank you everyone for joining us today workshop. I see a lot of people joining us today. And do you guys have any ideas about what our next workshop might be? We will keep that in mind. I think this is the end of our workshop, and we're gonna see you in the next workshop. And I hope that you guys are also there. This recording will be shared via our next newsletter, so don't worry.